Alright, now with resizing your images out of the way, let's have a quick look at how to crop your photographs. And this is the great thing about digital photography is you don't have to worry too much about getting the perfect photograph. You can always bring your images into Photoshop and then crop them and straighten them out a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do here before I crop my photograph is I'm going to hold down the Shift key and hit Tab. And what that will do is that will turn off the right-hand panels and give us a lot more room to work inside Photoshop. But the nice thing is that it keeps the toolbox open over on the left-hand side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab this fellow right here, our crop tool. So just single click on him to choose him. Now, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but if I zoom in on the barn here just a little bit, you'll notice that he is on a slight angle, ever so much, right? He leans to the left just a little bit. So what I want to try and do is I want to try and straighten out this image, and maybe I'll cut away some of the excess image as well. Working with your crop tool is really, really easy. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to click and drag out a box about that large, something like that, right? And then you'll notice that you get what I call the marching ants, this marching dotted frame that you have all the way around here. And we have resize handles on all four sides and in all four corners. And anything that falls inside the frame will be kept when we apply our crop. Anything that appears in the dimmed area outside of the crop frame will be lost or deleted, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on my image here, Command+, and I'll hold down the space bar just to move over a little bit. And what I want to try and do here anyway is this edge of the crop frame, I want to try and line him up with the edge of the barn. In other words, whenever I try to straighten an image, I take the edge of the crop frame and I try and line it up with an object inside the photo that's supposed to be straight, right? So I'm assuming that the edge of the barn here, the left edge of the barn, is supposed to be straight. So all I would do here is bring my cursor outside of the crop frame, and then I get this this curved double-headed arrow, and I can actually click and drag to rotate my crop frame just like this. So I might rotate him around just a little bit, something like that, and then I might stretch out my frame a little bit. I can see that I'm still a little bit off there, so I'll pull him back just a little bit. Maybe about there, I think looks pretty good to me. And then what I would do is, once I have the angle of the frame set up, if you will, then it's just a matter of cranking out the size of the crop frame, maybe something like this, right? So I'll just kind of pull this guy out, kind of stretch him out a little bit until I have him sort of enclosing the area of the photograph that I want to keep. Make sure not to cut off the lightning rod there on the top of the barn there, the peak of the barn. I think that's looking pretty good. I want to try and center the barn inside the crop frame. Unfortunately, I just have to kind of eyeball that. But what's kind of cool is you can actually drag inside the crop frame if you want to move the whole frame around inside your image, which is kind of neat. So just take a moment, set them all up. And if you're happy with this, you can do a couple of different things. I can click on the green check mark that appears down in the bottom area of the crop frame, or of course I can cancel the current crop option that I'm about to throw on here. Or if you want, you can just hit enter on your keyboard. That's another way to apply a crop, and bang, you got yourself a cropped image. Fantastic.